How is everyone doing? Hopefully you guys can hear me all right here. Looks like you can, which is good. Hopefully we'll get some people on here. We're gonna do a little Q&A. Just thought about doing one just because people are always asking a lot of questions in the lives and don't necessarily always have lots of time to go into a lot of depth with answers and stuff. So this morning I put a question poll thingy out on Instagram, and yeah, just people had a spot to ask questions, and then I answered them. Or I will answer them here. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do here, and then I'm gonna string a racket for a client after, and then people, if they want, can feel free to ask more questions there too. So yeah, we'll give people here just a couple minutes maybe to come in, and then we can kind of go forward. But yeah, a lot going on in the tennis world. We got Wimbledon getting ready to go into the second week. Andy Murray is sadly not playing any more Wimbledons, and Emiratu Kanu pulled out of the mix there. Somebody asked a question about that, so I will be giving my take on that. And yeah, so with that, I will jump into the questions here right away. I don't want to waste too much time. Nice to see that we just have a couple people in here, but we will, I'm sure, get some more. So let's do it. I'm just going to pull up the questions, and yeah, we'll do it. First question, I think from Mark. I've actually met Mark in Bakersfield. I think that's his name. When I played the 25K in Bakersfield, and his question was, did you have any offers besides going to SNU? And I did have a couple choices. There was a few really, a couple D1s, not a lot, a couple D2s, and then there was a D3 and also NAIA school that I really wanted to go to. SNU was actually just kind of was a school that showed up on the radar last minute really. So yeah, the process began. It was about a year of a process. I started emailing coaches back like a year before that final window. I think I committed in like March, so like the window began the previous March. That would have been like 2020. So in the heart of COVID really, which was tough because COVID was tough. But the NAIA school that I was potentially gonna go to was, wow, I'm blanking on the name, Indiana Tech. Had a good talk with their coach, seemed like good fit. The guys on their team seemed like they competed hard, and that's an NAIA school, so I enjoy talking to their coach. But didn't end up going because I'm at SNU. The D3, there was a couple D3s that I reached out to, but then there was really two that I had narrowed down to for D2, and one of them was Bates and the other one was Colby College. Yeah, they're both in Maine actually, so they're not that far away from me. That was one of the things that I wanted in the school, was that I wanted to be closer to home, especially for my first year, and I ended up getting that. I mean, SNU's not that far away from me. It's probably a good 7.5 hour drive, maybe 9 hours with our electric vehicle. But yeah, so the 2D3 offers were Bates and Colby College. Really loved chatting with the Bates coach. That was probably the school that I wanted to go to most, but it was very expensive. It was a little Ivy school. It was going to be like $100K Canadian per year, and with Division 3 they don't do athletic scholarships, so that's a whole thing, right? So I was disappointed that I couldn't go there. Just was way too expensive. I mean, walking out of there with $400K in debt Canadian is not what you want. So those were the D3 offers that I had. For D1, I talked to Sacred Heart a bit. Didn't end up going there. And then there was a couple other D2s as well. The one that I was closest with was Coker College. They were in South Hartsville, North Carolina, I think. North or South Carolina, I don't know. But really, if we run back through it, the question was for people that are coming in, were there any other schools that I was close to committing to other than SNU? So yes, there were. Indiana Tech, which was NAIA, Bates and Colby I really liked that were D3. Sacred Heart was a D1 that I had liked. I mean, obviously there was tons of other schools that I liked, but didn't really maybe get along as well with the coach or whatever, or they didn't have my program. And then D2, I had a long talk with Coker College. So yeah, that's kind of that question. Mark, hopefully we'll get to meet you soon again, but I might have to be back in California, I think, to see you. So yeah, that's the first question. Hopefully I answered that as best as I could. Second question, on to some rackets now. We got from Instagram, from Seb, I think, SEBABBY, or sorry, SEBABB underscore. Best string setup for Radical MP with 10 grams, I'm assuming it's lead, in the handle using Link's original green. Link's is a poly string. The Radical MP with some added weight is going to be more powerful than my Rad. So you're looking for a string. First of all, it depends on your skill level. I don't know how good you are, how you hit the ball, so that's a little bit tough. Or if you're looking for more spin or anything, but I would definitely stick with a poly. Since you're already using one, try and stay with a 16 or 17 gauge. But since you have 10 grams of lead in there, that's probably, it is in the butt, so it is going to bump up, though the weights might give you a little bit more power. I would say stick with a more control-oriented poly, since the Rad MP is more power-oriented than the Pro. So maybe I wouldn't go any stiffer than Restring Zero, and I wouldn't go any softer than maybe a Super Toro. So there's tons of strings within there. You know, you got Wasabi and Caviar from Tourline. Obviously, you got tons of other offerings from other companies. Like I said, I wouldn't go any stiffer than Restring Sync. That might even be too stiff for a full bed. You could maybe cross it with something though. Maybe like Grapple Snake Tour Sniper or M8 would work well in there. Yeah, but also I don't know your skill level. I don't know how you hit the ball. Maybe Restring Zero might work well. I still need to test that string actually. So yeah, hopefully that gave you a little bit of a good answer. You could always try hybriding with polys too, or with a syn gut if you really want to. I just don't think it would perform as well for you. So that's question number 2. Question number 3. From Luigi. Kind of interested in how college pro tennis player life is like. Well, first of all, college tennis players are not really considered pro tennis players. And I guess unless you guys consider me a pro for playing in one pro event. I guess technically you could say that I played pro for one event, but I consider myself a college player. So what's a day look like? Obviously we're there for school too, so there's academics involved. A normal day looks like, you know, you wake up, you go to your classes, you have your class schedule. Everybody has a different class schedule depending on their major, minors, and all that stuff. So sometimes you're waking up and you have class like 8 a.m. and you go until like 12:15. And then if you have 3 classes in a row, you got to find time to eat there. After that, we normally have our practice. Usually it's either starting at 12:30 or 2 o'clock. It depends on the guys and their class schedules. Every year it's a little bit different just because everybody has different time slots available, right? And our coach wants everybody to be on court together. So that's kind of where the practice times have been the last 3 years. Anywhere from like 12:30 to 4 is normally when we're practicing. On the weekends, sometimes we sprinkle in like a 10 a.m. or something like that. It is really nice because we go from class, lunch, practice, then we do gym after normally, and then we eat as a team for dinner, and then normally we do some homework when it's in the evening. Sometimes we'll go to the library together. Most nights we don't, just because we're so tired. We get a little bit of time to ourselves, so we're just kind of chilling in our dorms or whatever. And then by the time homework's done, it's like 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and you're ready to do it all over again. So that's just kind of like what the weekdays look like. Practice every day for like 2 hours, normally like 1 hour, hour and a half gym session. You got any injuries or any stuff like that, you might stop by the trainers. But then you got at least, 1 to 3 classes a day. So that's just kind of how that's like. Of course, I had my taste of pro back in March. If you're going to be playing pro while you're, or like pro matches and pro tournaments while you're in college, you can do that. But that would be, you would need to go by yourself. So that would, mean I'd have to take a plane somewhere from outside of Boston to the tournament for the weekend. Hopefully I win and win a couple rounds. Then that would probably have to continue doing schoolwork and stuff because I'm still in school. I can't just like forget about my schoolwork. But yeah, I don't know what it's like to do the full pro thing just because I'm still in college. I hopefully will here in the next 1 to 2 years, but I can only really give you what it's like to be a college player right now. And most times when we're in season, sometimes throughout the week we have matches, and then a lot of the time on the weekends we have matches as well. So then the schedule changes a little bit there as well. So hopefully that answered your question, Luigi, on what it's like to be a college tennis player and what the life is like. So that's question 3. My water break here. Talking a lot. Okay. What do we have next? Oh, Luigi also asks, are you interested in going on the professional route? Kind of touched on that there. Yes, I am. As soon as I'm done school, all my eggs are going into one basket, and we're going to try and do that. I'm sure I'll probably coach somewhere in the U.S. for maybe 1.5 years, 2 years to make money on the side. I will, of course, still do MP tennis, which is another question that's coming after this, and try my best to get into futures and string some results together and just go from there. That's all you can really say. I can't say really like, hey, I'm going to play in the U.S. Open in 2 years and I'll be in the first round qualies and come watch me, right? Fortunately, it doesn't really work like that as much as I wish it did. But yeah, I do plan on trying. I wouldn't be sitting here right now with my stringer and this, talking to you guys and playing college tennis if I didn't want to try. For me, just the way my mind works, I think it doesn't make sense for me to be trying as hard as I do for nothing. I think there needs to be a goal, and my goal is to ultimately play at that level in some way, shape, or form. I guess you could say I did touch it a little bit, but yeah, that's just the way it is. So yes, I do plan on trying. Question 5, what is MP Tennis's goals for after college tennis? That's from Jaden. Jaden is one of my teammates, so happy that he stopped in to share a question. Love that guy, he's a legend. So Jaden, yes, we're going to continue to do MP Tennis for as long as we can. MP Tennis will go right through my tennis life. I don't know where it's going to take me. I'm still hoping that, like I just said in the last question, we'll play some pro and I'll be able to take you guys through that lifestyle. Karoo's kind of showcasing what that's like from his POV, which is cool. He's a little older than I am though. He's like 20, he's 30, I'm 20, so I'm a little younger than he is, and I'll be fresh out of college, so I'll have kind of a different perspective. And I also would say my level is definitely not as high as what his maybe was. He played at UCLA, which is a great school. But then he did try and go for it, then took a little bit of a break, then started coaching, then went back to it. So I'm going to try and do it right away, see how we do. And yeah, of course I'll still make videos. I think I'll make videos for a really long time. I like doing it. Me and my dad both do it together. We have a ton of fun. doing it, and we just like to help people. I mean, we coach here in the summer. We have like a little mini academy with the kids, and they love it. We love helping the community and just really building tennis up and giving back, and that's really just the best part, really. So I think I'll make videos for a long time. Maybe not until I'm like 50, but like definitely you're gonna have to deal with me for a little while longer. So there's still plans for MP tennis. I see some questions here that are coming in via live. I'll get to those, but we got to give priority to the people that submitted before. So here we go. We have the next question. Hold up. I gotta get it here. What do you think if they make the Grand Slams 3 instead of 5 sets? I think that would, I don't know if I'd be a fan of that, just because I think 5 sets offer a very unique perspective to watch tennis. It's one of the hardest things to do in our sport. You only do it 4 times a year at the slams. One thing about that is I think if you put any random person out on a tennis court and they tried to play 5 sets with another random person of the same level, it would be hard for them, no matter what the skill level is. I think that just shows that tennis is difficult, and it's a challenging sport, and I love that 5-set grind for those guys. It is very physically demanding, and there are some cons about the 2-week period of doing that, which I do understand, but I think it's just something with our sport that it has to stay. They used to do it in some ATP 1000 events. They don't do that anymore. I don't think they do it in the Olympics anymore either. So they've removed it from a lot of tournaments that they used to do it in, just because it was way too much. So I think it's fair that they keep it at the slams. But who knows? You never know. I could see, one thing I could see them doing is taking away the 5th set and playing a 10-point breaker. I think in all the slams now, what they do is they do the 10-point tiebreaker at 6-all in the 5th. I could just see them doing 10-point tiebreaker starting at the 5th. That might save a little bit of time. One thing with Wimbledon right now that just kills me is I don't understand why they don't have lights. This would speed things up. If they had lights, it would also speed things up. We got a lot of guys going 5 sets. There's no reason why we can't play a 10-point breaker for the 5th, especially for the guy that wins. They're not going to be as tired. Sometimes that's anywhere from like 30 to an hour and 15 minutes less maybe on court for them. So just a little bit of a tidbit. I know some people are probably going to hate me for saying do the 10-point breaker. I'm just saying that if they had to go away from the full 5 sets, but I'm for full 5 sets instead of going 3. What do you think about Raducanu pulling out of the mixed doubles with Andy Murray? It's a tough one. Saw that this morning. Was pretty upset. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a pretty diehard Andy Murray fan. Sucks to see that he is, he's struggling. It's coming to an end. It's the way it is for him. He's left such a legacy, and he's a great player, and I think even more importantly, he's a great guy. So him not being able to play his last match is sad. I think people gave Raducanu a tougher time than maybe she deserved. I understand why people are frustrated, because I saw like a post today. It was like, I think it was Simon from Top Tennis shared it, and then he deleted the post, I think. So that's interesting for other reasons. But it was like Andy Murray, metal hip, major ankle injury earlier this year, fresh off of back surgery, and barely can get out of bed in the morning. And then it was like Emma Raducanu, stiff wrist. So I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, it does kind of put things into perspective. You got this guy who's just trying to finish his career. It's a mixed doubles match, and all the fans want to see him one more time, and I do get it. But from the side of Emma, you know, I think she had both wrists, had surgery already in her career, and maybe they're sore, maybe they're hurting. I don't know. There wasn't much details that she gave the press, I don't think. But she's still in the singles tournament. If she was just in doubles, I would say horrible from her, even though I'm a little bit upset maybe, since I'm just such a diehard Andy fan, but I can understand where she's coming from. It's just too bad. Hopefully Andy's going to play the Olympics and the US Open and finish the year. I don't know where he plans to stop. He hasn't really said that. He hasn't officially retired. This was just his last Wimbledon, so who knows where he's going to finish. So that's really interesting. We're going to find out soon. So that's that. Who's going to win Wimbledon? I have that question. I mean, Iga Swiatek lost today. We start with the girls. It's going to be tough. Wimbledon is always so, I feel like the slam that maybe is sometimes a toss-up, especially on the girls' side. I feel like for some reason maybe the girls have a tougher time adapting to the grass, which is strange because I think more girls would like playing on grass because the flatter balls. But yeah, I feel like there's French Open and really Wimbledon have some random women winners. So for the girls right now, I don't know. The Paoloni girl, I think that's how you say her last name, she's still in it. She could win. Let me just pull it up here. It's pretty wide open, I think, for the girls. I would say she's got a chance. Rybakina is solid right now. She destroyed Caroline Wozniacki today, 0-1. Danielle Collins is still in it. Alina Svitolina won't win, I don't think. Ostapenko can play unreal when she's at her best, but she's terrible when she's not. So Krejcikova, I think that's who you say. Krejcikova, I don't know. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong there. I'm trying. She's still alive. There's still a lot of good players that are alive here. Badosa, Vekic, Raducanu's still in there. Coco's still there. I think if I had to go with my 3 picks, I would say Rybakina, maybe Krejcikova is my second, and maybe Coco Gauff. Those are my 3 kind of picks. Raducanu might make a semi, but I don't know. Going to be tough. Home pressure there for the guys. Novak looked pretty solid today against Popyrin. No really major issues. Before today, I would have said maybe Sasha Zverev, but he hyperextended his knee today and barely got through Cam Norrie in the 3rd set today. That was epic, 17-15 in the 3rd. But yeah, it's also kind of wide open on the guys. I really don't want to see a few players win. I don't want Ben Shelton to win, and I don't want Taylor Fritz to win. Sorry, my Americans that are watching, just, I don't know, something about it. Not a huge fan of their games. But yeah, it's also quite wide open. I mean, Sinner, I would probably say Sinner right now. I mean, he had the win in Halle, and then, yeah, has just been solid. Carlos could get tired making a deep run here. Novak, the knee, how's it going to do in the second week of the slam, going 5 sets with somebody like Carlos, Zverev? I don't know. You never know. Maybe Sasha plays well with this crazy knee thing that happened to him today. I don't know. But yeah, I would say Sinner is probably my guy's pick right now. But yeah, also, I see people that are typing in here. I'm sorry. I'll get to those after. But yeah, somebody said Collins. I would hope for Danielle Collins as well. She's awesome. I am a fan of hers as well. Last question. Pinpoint or platform stance on serve? What are the pros and cons? A few things. On the pinpoint, that's when you bring your foot into your serve. Platform is when you do not bring your foot in, and it's kind of more like you go down, and it's more of like a squat. How do I explain this? It is kind of like you do bend your knees with both, but one you bring your foot in, one you do not. It is said that the pinpoint stance is better for servers that want to get more power or momentum. That's just what people say. Do they have reason? Do they not? That's up for discussion, I think. If you look at like some of the best servers of all time, they use pinpoint. The hardest serve ever recorded, Sam Groff, pinpoint stance. Serena and Venus, both pinpoint. I think Nick Kyrgios, pinpoint. Yeah. Who else? I mean, Rafa is a pinpoint. Andy Murray's a pinpoint. But then you look at some huge servers like Milos Raonic, Roger Federer, one of the greatest servers of all time, platform stance. There's a lot of guys that serve platform. Novak is a platform, even though his feet are closer together. They're not quite fully together. The way I see it is, yes, there is some guys that have pinpoint that have terrible serves, but then there's also guys that have platform that don't have great serves, and then there's guys that have platform that have amazing beast serves, and then the same for pinpoint. It's all about comfort, what you feel feels good for you. There's pros and cons to both, but like I said, pinpoint seems to be the more momentum moving. You bring your foot in, you can lean your head maybe a little bit more inside the court, and then you can kind of go after it a little bit more. Where I feel like the platform, you can still get good power and good momentum, but I feel like it's more flowing and more control oriented, if you know what I'm saying there. I use a platform, but like I've also used a pinpoint in my junior career. I went back and forth a little bit. When you're a junior, you tend to go back and forth a little bit until you find what you like. Maybe you don't. That's what I did though. Tinkered with both of them. So yeah, that answered all of the pre-questions. If you guys have any questions here right now in the chat, I will go through those right now. Starting at the top. Yo bro, good to see you again. What's up, Top G? Nice to see you as well. Thank you for always swinging by. I'm gonna take a quick little water break here though, before we get to these. Did you watch Turkey versus the Netherlands? It was close for Turkey, man. I saw the result. I did not watch the game though. I do have a couple Dutch friends, so I'm sure they're very happy about today's win. But yeah, I did not watch the game unfortunately, but crazy for the people of the Netherlands right now. I'm sure they're losing their mind. How fast can you run a mile? I have no idea. No idea. Never done that test before. I think I don't know the number, but I think I did that test when I was like in grade 8. They made us do that in grade 8. I did pretty good for my age, I think then, but I don't remember the time. Will you be reviewing the new Head Extreme racket? I like the 22 model, but not a fan of the new colorway. Or sorry, you're not a fan of the old colorway and the new one looks better in your opinion, but wonder what the difference is and how it plays. I don't know how it plays. I don't have it yet. Hopefully I will get it though. That's one of the rackets I would love to try. I always like using current rackets that I use, their new versions, and then also testing rackets, the new versions of rackets that I used to play with. So that will be nice once I do get my hands on that. I'm sure it will play a tiny bit different. I think what the theme is with these new Auxetic 2.0 rackets from Head is they're a little bit more muted. I've been able to play quite a few of them now of the new line. Currently doing the MP Speed and Speed Pro comparison video, and they are muted. They're pretty muted. I don't mind it. In fact, I really do like the Speed, and we'll talk about that in a future video, but yeah, they're quite muted. So I think it's just maybe the tinkering they made with the Auxetic. I don't know what that does or how they do that. It's weird. That's some crazy racket tech, how they can change a racket like that. I mean, it's the same. A lot of these rackets are the same molds for years and years. It's just like the insides are different, right? Sometimes they change the weight a little bit, or the beam thickness, or the stiffness by very, very, very minor increments or whatever. But most of the time it's the tech that's put in the rackets that is changing every couple of years. But hopefully I get to play with it. Opinions on the Wilson Shift. I played with that, and I made a review about it. I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun with it. It was one of the more fun demos I've done in my MP tennis career. You could say my YouTubing career, but it hurt my arm. It has a really high stiffness, and yeah, I couldn't pull the plug on it. Couldn't do it. But I think if you can handle it, it's going to be a great racket for a lot of people. I played with a relatively stiff poly in there, but it's a thicker beam. It's 99 square inch. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it's a 1620 pattern, so it's relatively open. I didn't want to put a softer string in there. I think that was before the Tourline times for me, so my string was confidential at that time. Tourline wasn't as popular, didn't really know about it, but I don't think Super Toro, I don't think Wasabi, I don't think many of those strings would maybe work well on that racket just because of how high the stiffness is, there's the bed, and then also how big the sweet spot is. I think it would just fly. And I do think, unfortunately, those rackets need a softer string to avoid potential arm problems. So I had arm problems with them. Maybe you won't or other people won't, but it was a great racket. I enjoyed the demo, but I couldn't pull the trigger on it. Hi, I played with the IG Rad MP from 2012. Whoa, those are some oldies, but goodies. And they're kind of beat up. The feel is incredible, but it's 95 and 18 by 20. I can't find anything similar nowadays since most rackets are very muted. Any options? Just mentioned how the new rackets from Head are quite muted. You could go for the Prestige. They keep changing the name on it. I think it's Pro or Tour they call it now. I could easily pull it up, or you could pull it up on Tennis Warehouse somewhere. They have a 95 square inch Prestige, but it comes in a 16-19 95 pattern, or like head size. So 16-19 pattern and 95 head size. That might be the closest you can get to it. I know Wilson has their 6195 out right now. I think that's also a 16-19. Other than that, you could wait for the new Pro Staffs that are going to be coming out in a couple months. Apparently they're going to be amazing. I've heard about that. But yeah, other than that, there's not much. All of a sudden you go from that, and then you go to like a V-Core 95, which is going to feel completely different. And then you go to rackets that are 97, 98 square inches, like the new Rads, or Pure Strikes or whatever, and they're going to feel different. They might feel good, but it might be a little bit of an adjustment. So you could try some of those that I said, but unfortunately the days of your old radicals, they're not around anymore. You can maybe find something off eBay, but I suggest going for that Prestige 95 to start. Can you loan me your serve for my upcoming tournament? Jeremy, yes, I can do that. Me and Jeremy are playing at a tournament together in about a week. Not a week. I don't know, what's the date? It's July 6th. Yeah. In 2 weeks, we're playing a tournament together in Boston. I'm going to be going down to Boston. Maybe I can get some footage for a video for that. I haven't thought about that yet, but I'm going to play a college circuit tournament here in a couple weeks. Yes, I can lend you my serve, Jeremy. Thank you for stopping by, Jer. I know you tried the 2021 Gravity Pro, but I would love a review on the 2023 one. Plays differently and a little lighter. I did briefly mention the new Gravity Pro. Well, it's kind of old now, the newest one in my racket bracket last year. So I did give some thoughts on it there. I did have it let it up quite a bit. But if you do go and check out that video, you can see what I thought about it. I'm sorry, but the gravity rackets just don't work for me. They don't offer enough power for me. They feel pretty solid, but like, I feel like I can't get the ball over the net compared to a lot of rackets. I do say that a lot of rackets are good, and if it is a good racket, it's just not for me. and I didn't really notice a difference from that one to the previous model. But I did give a few of my thoughts on that in my racket bracket. Are you still playing with Grapple Snake Tour M8? I never was playing with Grapple Snake Tour M8. I did a review on it. It is one of my favorite strings. It is up there, but I don't play with it. But other than like some of the tour line setups that I use, that's also going to be a future video, kind of tinkering with that a little bit, my setup. The Grapple Snake Tour M8 is definitely up there for one of my favorite strings that I like, but I don't currently use it. What shoes do you use right now, and are you looking for the Speed FF3 as a speed replacement? Right now I have the Barricades, they're okay. I have the clay variant and the hardcourt variant. They're okay. I like what they're doing. I wish I had them down here so I could show you, but I like what they're doing in the heel. They have these suction thingies that are holding your heel together. They don't give you blisters like the old ones did, but they're just okay. They do the job. They're comfortable. I miss the days of the Vapor 9.5s and the Vapor Pro regulars. They don't make those anymore. I would sit here and get mad at you guys on the camera the whole day. But, you know, yeah, it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. I miss those shoes, and we'll continue to try and find a replacement. I know they've just released a new Adidas shoe. It's like Soul Court Match Bounce 2 or something. Maybe I'll give that one a check. Yeah, because ProDoc Zach made a video about it, and I checked it out. So yeah, we'll see. But it's definitely too bad that they're not making the shoes that I like anymore. But yeah, I guess to answer your question again, I didn't like the Speed FF3s to continue to use them. So I have not found a replacement, I guess. Who is the best tennis player you have ever played against? How did you do? Whoa, good question. Best tennis player I've ever played against? That's a really hard question. I mean, I've played against guys that have ATP points or used to, so it's hard to say. I mean, the guy that I played in my futures, he was pretty solid, but in ways, like I feel like in that, like I lost 2-2. I feel like I had so many game points on my serve, and I was so tight. I played on the center court, not the center, well, the main court at the tournament. There was people watching. I was nervous. It was my first futures ever, and I think if I played well and I wasn't tight, it could have been like a 4-3 or 4-4. And I've been beaten by players worse than that guy that had maybe a lower rating. This is around like the 12.5 UTR. I've never played somebody that's like in the 14s though, or anything like that. So the guy that I played there, I guess you could say, is one of the better players I've ever played against. But then like I've also played against guys that used to be hitting partners for like Marian Cilic, but they're not as good anymore because they don't really play much. So I've played against a few guys that have been really good. But if you stop playing tennis, then you kind of lose a little bit of your tennis game. So there's a few guys that I've played against that are at their peak would be like 12.5, close to 13 UTR. That would have been nasty. But yeah, I would lose to them. Right now, I would lose. Maybe if I play that level, I think that's what you need to do in order to get better. You got to play guys at that level for many matches to see if you can get to that level, and that's what you just need to do to get better. So hopefully I can reach that level, but those are the matches you got to play to get better. But I was losing. I would lose those matches right now. I actually missed this question, Jer. Thank you for asking. How's the new forehand coming along? Somebody asked that in the Instagram, and I totally forgot it. Forehand's coming along. It is. The changes are being made. They are fixed. I would say if we started at a 0% of unhappiness when training this, because it's very difficult to make changes like this to your game when you're later in your career, you would say. Am I later in my career? Yeah. I mean, I've developed a lot since I was 7 years old. So I would say it's tougher to make these changes when you're older. So yeah, it's going really good. Like I said, if I was a 0% unhappy in the beginning, I'm probably at like an 85, 90% happy out of potential 100% being like, I'm totally cool with this. It's working in matches. The only piece now is just point and match play that I need to get with higher level players. And that's the only piece that's missing to really seal the deal on the forehand. The technique, the footwork, it's all there with everything now. It's just a matter of reps. So it's coming, it's good. Had some good reps with it in Montreal. Was able to play with a couple good players, put it under pressure, really fine-tune some things and learn more about improving that area. So now I can even do better. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, it's coming along. How often do you look to upgrade or change rackets? Do you usually look for a particular aspect when you change or upgrade? Absolutely. What I've noticed, and after I answer this question, I'm going to put the computer over here. I'll still answer the questions, but I'm going to start stringing a racket. Actually, I can even start doing that now. So most times what's happening is I play a match, I play my college season, I play guys that are better than me, maybe I play guys that are worse than me, and what happens is you're like, okay, that shot didn't feel good, or under pressure this didn't feel good, or I want more power here, or this string setup is this, or blah, 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 and you figure things out when you play matches. Because your body will react in certain ways, right? So most times it comes at random times. It's like, you know what? I need more of this, or I need less of this. And we are in, once again, I'm not going to say too much about it, but unfortunately we're in another one of those funks right now. You know, going through the technical change brings up racket things once in a while and racket thoughts, and I'm lucky that I do get to test a lot of rackets for you guys and all that. Do I like changing rackets? Maybe when I was 12 and 13, it is fun to switch rackets. But now it's like, I'm trying to find a racket now that I can kind of use for the next 6 years, 7 years, and stick with that for the rest of my tennis. And I think I've narrowed it down. But now I'm giving you guys lots of info here that I haven't even talked about on the channel. So yeah, is there a racket change coming? I'm like 90% sure. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it right now. I've been playing with this racket for a couple weeks now, and I do notice a difference. It helps, it promotes the changes that I've made. But yeah, that's just the thing. Once you get rackets in your hand and you get the demo and make videos about it, you're lucky. You get your hands on a lot of different things, and yeah, I'm lucky for that, but it definitely sucks because then maybe you gotta buy rackets or go through another transition with rackets. But I'm very happy with how this transition is maybe going, and I'm sure I'll make a video on it here soon, but right now I have other stuff going on, so I don't need to maybe make a video about that at this moment. But we're gonna string a pure drive today, guys. Stringing a pure drive. It's somebody from my club. He needs a string job. Looks like he has like factory strings in here. Gonna help him out. And don't worry, I will still answer your questions. One thing I do ask of all of you guys though is if you're not liking and subscribing, please do like and subscribe. Helps us a lot, and yeah, helps us make better videos for you guys. So please like and subscribe. I will answer your questions, but just gonna cut the string out for this racket. This is a Pure Drive Evo Light. So, I don't know, it's definitely a very light racket. It has synthetic gut in it. I'm gonna put a multi in here for him. I don't think he's ever had a racket restrung before, so he's gonna be in for a treat. That's one thing about these damn factory strings here. They're so loose and so like they're not stiff at all. Like it's tough to get them out of the racket here. It's very annoying. Okay, what is the tension maintenance on Selenko Confidential? It's okay. Sorry, I'm not in the frame right now. I'm just taking out these strings. It's a pain in the butt. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's not the best. So sorry, it's basically saying the same thing. It's not my favorite, but it's not the worst. I would say it's middle of the line. I feel like some stiffer strings suffer on tension maintenance, and it would be on the stiffer side. I think you guys can see me, right? Am I still in the frame? I hope so. Yeah, I'll get it in the frame here. Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, I just gotta focus here. These are very tough to get out. See, like I push and it just doesn't do anything. But I will try and answer questions here. How demanding are the Extreme Tours? I am with an older Blade 98 and looking for spin. I don't think that's a tough transition at all. The Extreme Tour is not very demanding, especially stock form. You'll be totally fine. I think you'll find it similar to your. That's not a tough switch. I am breaking strings every 2 to 4 hours. I'm using PTP in the cross and Polytorque spin in the main. Any suggestions what I can do besides going up a gauge? Well, what racket do you use? That's something. If you use like a Pure Drive, once again, I'm just taking my strings out here. I'm putting them on my desk, so I'm out of the frame. If you are using what E-Zone, yeah, so the thing is, if you're playing E-Zone 98, E-Zone 100, for people that are listening and you have a Pure Drive or a Pure Arrow or a Burn or a Clash or a whatever, those rackets have very open beds. 16 by 19, 100 or 98 square inch beds will break strings quicker than a 97, 95, 98 tighter string beds such as 18 by 20. So unfortunately, there is ways to go about it. You can find a stiffer string maybe, or a more durable string, but sometimes that's the racket. Like for example, I was just talking about rackets for me. My current racket, as of, for you guys, it's the Radical. When I use that racket, I use my full bed of Super Toro. And it plays great. But if I put my Super Toro in a Babolat RPM, a Babolat Pure Arrow, it's gonna break way faster because the bed is very open. So there's not really much you can do about that, unfortunately. That's the way it goes. But you can look like on Tennis Warehouse and stuff to see for like a more durable string. Those are relatively durable though. I mean, 4 hours isn't that bad, especially if you're playing like higher level. So yeah, I don't know. Playing around 5, yeah. Actually, what you can do is you can look to. I would invest in a stringer. That's what I did. I mean, I was breaking strings a lot too, and then I gave in to getting a stringer. I bought my drop weight, and then I got this crank that I am forever grateful for. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. You can try like a 15L RPM blast string or 15, but I don't know. I don't think it'll feel great playing. Those are really thick gauge. So yeah, unfortunately, it's just those rackets. You break strings more just because the bed is quite open. So yeah, we are going to throw some head velocity. Full bed of multi here for this guy. He had a full bed of multi before. I think it's appropriate to do another full bed of multi for him. He's a beginner. So. But yeah, I do understand stringing and how, you know, it's expensive. Like, it's just the way it is, and like stringers do need to charge, like especially at a club or if you're somebody and you're trying to make money. Like for me, if somebody doesn't have a string and I use Tourline for them or another string that I have, like that's my string, so I pay for that myself, so they need to kind of pay me in some way or shape or form for the string as well as the string job. So that's why sometimes people end up paying like $40 for a string job. That's just the way it goes. It's been a while since I've done a full bed of synthetic for somebody. But this blue head velocity is gonna look so sick in his racket. But also here with like this multi, it's very it's so different. You gotta, the pulling tension on it, you gotta like pull like way more than you would than if you do poly. Okay. Sorry, I see your comments here. Thanks for the answer, man. I thought maybe I should use a full bed of something. I mean, you can try doing that as well. I mean, I didn't mention that. You can try doing that just for fun to see how it goes. Actually, I recommend going for that. But honestly, you could get like a drop weight stringer for $200 or $300. And you'll save so much money, you won't ever have to string ever again. Oh yeah, so you're playing a good level. Yeah, man. I wouldn't tinker too much with the string. I would recommend getting a stringer. That's gonna help you and save you a lot. And that's a good setup you have going right now too. So when you play with those types of rackets, that's just the way it goes. It's, you know, you're accelerating, you're hitting big spin, you're flattening it out. It's tough on the racket, it's tough on the strings. It's normal to break that much. It's very normal. But like even when I was under 16, see, this is what I'm talking about with this freaking string. It takes a lot to crank. You gotta really stretch it. Like when I was under 16, I was using like a pure arrow, Tor actually, and I was breaking strings like potato chips. I was breaking strings just as much as what you're saying, if not more, and I was using a full bed of 16 gauge. So it's just the way it goes. It sucks when you get to a little bit of a higher level and you're generating your own pace and you play with guys that play well. It's just the way it goes. Occasionally what's happening here is people leave messages here and then I don't see them because for some reason it won't come in on the comments. Like there, I did it again. Probably the best Oscar man, you're right. By the way, amazing serve you got there. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I've put in a lot of work and a lot of time and effort into that. A lot of baskets when I was younger. But thanks. Not used to actually stringing these rackets that are like mid-level rackets, you could call them, or like intermediate rackets. Like this is a Pure Drive Evo Light. I don't know, I'm sure these rackets cost maybe just over $100. They're like, I don't string many of these rackets, so it'll be interesting to see like how these grommets are and stuff, but I think you will get much more views and a lot more subs. You deserve it for sure. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm hoping it will come here someday. YouTube's not an easy thing to do. Somebody on the last live said, should I start a YouTube channel or something, and asked me a couple questions, and I said, yeah, do it. They were asking about the money. And I said, don't do it for the money. You should never do a lot of things for the money. And I feel like a lot of people should know that, but some people don't. I don't do, you think I'm on here for the money? Like, no. That would be crazy. I don't make that much money doing YouTube either. So, it's kind of weird. But yeah, it's nice. I do it because I want to do it, and I hope we grow because I like to help people. It's no different than going to give lessons to the kids or running a clinic for them, you know what I mean? It's not like I get paid millions of dollars to do that, but I like doing it because it's helping some other kids and it gets them to play the sport that I like. So yeah, man, I really hope it grows too. It's something that I would continue to do, and I'll bring it along for the ride here for as long as I can. And yeah, I got one more year of college, so it's gonna go quick. Tennis with Andy. Buddy, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. What's your favorite food? And when are you coming to Boston to hit with me? Bud, I'm actually coming to Boston in about a week, 2 weeks. And our school is about 45 minutes away from Boston. So actually in the fall, if you ever want to come watch, you're more than welcome to come watch one of our college matches. That would be awesome. I've met some people that subbed to the channel and are fans of the channel before. Like when I went to Bakersfield, I was happy to meet some people that watch MP tennis for the 25K. So it would be great to meet some people that watch the channel that are outside of the country and my hometown, and yeah, that would be awesome. But I'm playing in the college circuit event in about 2 weeks there. So I will be coming there to play. So maybe we'll see you around. But yes, thank you for swinging by and talk. Oh, you asked me about my favorite food. My favorite food. Wow. I really don't like, it's not like I hate anything. I think pizza, when it's done well, like we have a really awesome pizza place here in my area and I love it. But like just regular pizza in general, I'm just not a fan of really. Like really good pizza is great. And one thing also that I've started to like, and this sounds so weird and this is very like American of me to say, and I'm not American, but like a really good burger is awesome. Like at like a really nice restaurant, you have a great bun, you have a great toppings on there. I really can go for a nice, good burger at a nice restaurant. But yeah, man, I like a lot of stuff. There's good pasta dishes as well. Like tonight I had Thai. Love Thai food too. I love bread. Who doesn't love bread? Like, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. I'm lucky to be surrounded by some great cooks in the house, and through my childhood, my parents and my grandparents would always make home cooked meals, so I was lucky to always have good food that tasted awesome. So yeah, I'm very lucky for that. But yeah, I really don't not like anything, you know. I'm a big salad guy as well. Like I don't mind eating salads as well. I know a lot of my teammates laugh at me and make fun of me because I like to eat salad a lot while I'm at school, but it tastes good. So, this is the thing here with the multi. I hate doing knots with multi. It's so flimsy. It's so it's so malleable, and it's brutal. So I always get afraid that it's just gonna snap. But hopefully it doesn't. So far, so good, though. One thing, though, about doing these lives that makes me laugh is I always have a different group of people on here. Like last week, it was funny because I was actually stringing one of the kids I coach. I was stringing his racket. He was on here. The kids that he plays with around Atlantic Canada were on here watching me string it. So it was a younger crowd. Now it seems like I have a little bit of an older crowd. Every live, it's a little bit different. The questions are always different. I love it. And that's another thing. I love doing that because I love just kind of helping out people, and so different every time. There we go. Mains are done. Hopefully it will stay good here. I'm trying. One thing that I was trying to figure out is like you can actually like put like these polls in the lives. I'm still low key, guys. Like I'm still low key a rookie here. Like I'm no expert with like the lives still. Even though I've done like quite a few, you can put like polls in there. And like before this one, since we were doing like a Q&A, I was like, I wanted to do like a countdown thing, but like it's tough because like I don't have a PC, I don't have multiple angles. Like a lot goes into that stuff. Like if you look at like some of the gamers and stuff, they have like all these overlay things on like lives. Like I know how to do that for videos, but like doing it for a live, like the countdown and stuff, we don't have all this extra like software. It's crazy. And all I have actually down here doing this with me tonight is my computer, my tripod, and the camera. So it's interesting. But with that, I don't know if we still have many people in here. We've been going for a while actually because we started with the Q&A. What are people feeling about Wimbledon? That was one of the questions from tonight. I think it's pretty wide open, but what does everybody else think? I really think it's wide open. One thing that also does not go talked about as much is like, and I think should be, it's weird that it's not watched more, is doubles. Like, doubles is huge with college tennis, and they should put more doubles on. It's too bad people don't want to watch it more, and like, people don't talk about like the doubles legends, like the Bryan brothers, or like, we're lucky here in Canada, like Daniel Nestor was like unreal in dubs. Like doubles is tough too, and it has its own, this friggin' knot, man. I hate how it's doing this. We don't talk about how, you know, doubles is so big, and like there is doubles every week too, like in all these tournaments that the guys go to. I think people should watch it more. They would learn more. I think they would learn way more. I think people can benefit from playing doubles too. It will help their singles game. Because you're coming to the net, you're at the net most of the time in the match. But I think people should watch more dubs. Because it's interesting too, like at school, when people are watching us, they leave when the singles starts. They like watching the doubles more than the singles, which is honestly like funny. Like, I think it's maybe because that's when most of the hype is occurring. You know, guys are getting fired up because they have their partner there. There's chest bumps. There's people are clapping. There's a lot of yelling. But I mean, dubs is awesome. I think more people should be watching. And like the other thing is like a lot of club players like just don't know anything about like doubles either. So yeah, I don't know how many people we have in here. I can't see because I got it zoomed in on the comments. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let me know. We have subs from all over the world. I know that. There we go. I think you should post match analysis of yourself maybe to understand tactics a bit, which is lacking in your YouTube tennis. Hey, look. You're probably right. I don't talk about my matches a lot. I don't talk about tactics a lot either. You're probably right. It's tough though. Like we did some match play videos and they did okay. Maybe we didn't do them right, or we could have did them a different way. I don't know. But I do understand what you're saying. I just feel like some of those videos are very hit and miss. Like, here's the thing, like for people that are watching, like I'll let you in on a little bit of a secret here. Like, all of our subscribers come from a lot of the more like tennis oriented stuff, but they don't get views, if that makes sense. So like racket reviews and stuff like that, they don't generate as many subs as say other content does, but they get a lot of views. So it's interesting how that works, right? Like a video that might get 25K views might get less subs than a video that had 5K views. Whereas that 5K view video might have like 200 subs, which would be crazy, right? And that's honestly like the worst thing now that I've been doing YouTube is putting out a video that you put a lot of work into, you think it's great information, you think it will help people, and it just sucks. The algorithm doesn't work, people aren't really jiving maybe with it. You know, that's the worst thing. And look at that, I made a mini error, I'm not paying attention. You're from Israel, that's cool, man. 3 a.m. That's a late one. That is a super late one. Where did I make a mistake? That's such a rookie mistake. My God. Hate it when I do that. I haven't done this in years. Years and years. Yeah. We'll fix her up here. There we go. Sorry, I see some more questions coming there. I got you, I got you. There we are, we got it. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. So for example, a new E-zone or something is coming out, most of the YouTube tennis users will search a review of that racket without. Exactly, so like, that's the thing, like I did like, I don't know. However, with that being said, like I did a video like a few years ago that did like a lot. You can see it on the channel, I did like why I switched the Extreme Tour. That was a huge video for us, because it wasn't necessarily a racket review. It was also about me and my tennis. So people subscribe to that one. However, if I do a video about the Onyx E-Zone 98 Tour review, you know, it's not special. It's special for people that want to know about the racket, but what they're going to do, and I'm also guilty about this, about looking at reviews that are not tennis related, is that you know, you go on YouTube and you search up review of this, and then you compare it to another review from another YouTuber. That's just the way it is. And they don't really care about the person that did the video and the effort they put into it. And it's not their fault, they're just watching the video to help themselves. However, when you get people that watch a tactic video or a technical video or a how-to-do video, they are looking for help. So those people tend to subscribe more often because they appreciate the work that the YouTuber had done. Like that's why if you look at some of these like viral videos or whatever, it's like entertainment and the video might have millions of views and then the YouTuber might only have like a couple thousand subscribers because, you know, it was a one-hit wonder kind of video, but also like it wasn't really like, it wasn't like something that the person wanted to come back and watch more of, you know what I mean? Are you eventually going to review the Wilson Ultra Pro rackets? Also, who's your pick for Wimbledon this year? We were just talking about that earlier. We'll see about the Pro Labs there. I used to use the Ultra Pro, also known as Tour, back in the day. Probably the worst racket pick I could have ever done for myself. It's a great racket, but for the time, for the level, for what I needed, it was very stupid, way too control-oriented. Still probably too control-oriented for me. So I don't know if I get them. If Tennis On wants that video and thinks that would be a good one to maybe send to me, I will say yes, and maybe I can even request it. I don't think they have the Pro Labs. I don't think they have the Pro Lab rackets though. So maybe I would have to buy them, and maybe I can make like a Pro Labs video of all of them. But then I would need to go out of my own way and spend probably over $1,000 to get those rackets. So that's expensive for me too. So we'll see. Time will tell with that one. But I wonder how we're doing for time here. The Q&A was closer to 45 minutes, so I wonder how we're doing now. 8:52, about what I thought. About what I thought. But the other thing, back to, you know, views and subs and stuff, is when I do these live videos, it's great because I get to, like, although I don't see you guys, I get to see your comments. You guys stay on here with me, we chat, we talk about tennis, and in a way I can gain subs doing this because it's more of a conversation. I get to know the viewers, so people tend to like that. So sometimes what will happen is people will watch the live video, they might be like, oh, I like MP Tennis, or I like X channel. Then they watch one of their videos and they're like, you know what, I'll sub to them because I like what they're doing. So that happens with us occasionally. And it works out because, like, occasionally I get subs from doing lives, but like I like doing the live, so it kind of works out. I missed that. Picks for Wimbledon and any goals for upcoming season. Sorry about from Andrew. I missed the second part of your question. My bad. I think center right now for the guys, and for the girls we were talking about earlier, maybe Rybakina. That's kind of my main one. The Poloni girl that was also French finalist could maybe do another deep run, which would be very impressive. But yeah, other than that, nothing crazy that I think. What are my goals for the upcoming season? I'm assuming you mean college season. Yeah, man, it's to win the ring. It's to win the conference like it is every year. Every year is different. Every year is tough. It's my last year. My freshman year, we were lucky, and you could even say like blessed enough to go to the national last 16 in the country. You know, I was really a deer in headlights there. It's your first year. We had a great squad, really talented, and we made it that far. And you're just kind of soaking it all in, but like not paying attention in a way. And like going to like the NCAA championships was like crazy. I mean, you're with the best last 16 teams in the country. It was amazing. So to get back to there and kind of witness it and be a part of it and playing it again. So for me, it would be first year and last year being able to do that. That would be awesome. It would be a lot of fun to do that again. And run it back with the boys one more time, even though it's a different group of guys now. That's the thing with college tennis. Every year you got different guys on the team, right? So people graduate, people transfer, people decide to do other things or whatever, or people don't play in the lineup anymore, and it's every year it's a little bit different, right? So yeah, maybe new coaching staff for new teams, changes happen at the school. Unfortunately, one of the teams in our division, so not our conference, their program folded. That I found out the other day. That's too bad. So that changes dynamics within the region and the division. But yeah, it's obviously to win the conference. You want to win a ring. We won a ring my second year. That's sitting upstairs. One of the greatest accomplishments ever was to win that, and you just want to do it again. Winning is great, especially when you're on a team. It's very unique with tennis, right? You don't get to play on a team that often. You know, it's college tennis. You got Davis Cup, you got Labor Cup. It's very rare. So yeah, I got one more year of it. Gonna soak it all up, and then it will be gone. Unfortunately, unless I get good enough to play Davis Cup someday or something like that. But that's tough when you're in a big country. A lot of people. But this blue head, what do you call it? This velocity is looking so sick in this racket. Here's a good conversation starter. Is now that Wimbledon's going on, we always, we've forgotten about Rafa. Where is Rafa going to retire? How is he going to do at the Olympics? The Olympics are in Paris, on clay. Is he going to make a deep run? That's so interesting to me. Like, does he have a slam in him? I don't think so. But, like, is he going to play the US Open? What's his timeline? Like, the guy posts Instagram reels and, like, hitting videos every day. So it's like, he's still grinding so hard. You have to respect it. You have to respect it. So I'm really interested to see what will happen with him. I mean, I would love for him to go deep, make a deep run in the Olympics. Are you kidding me? That would be unreal. Would be awesome for tennis too. We can have like an all-time great, do another deep run once again. It would be so awesome. Yeah, guys, once again, if you're not liked and subscribed, you gotta do it up. Do it up. All these names are in here. I've seen these before. Support your boy. Greatly appreciated. And we're close to 10,000 subs too. Hopefully we get there before the end of 2024. It's gonna be really close. It's tough, man. It's so tough. It's the balance of creating videos you like to make, and then creating videos that other people love to watch, and you gotta balance it with time. And it's not like I'm a YouTuber that's like 1 million subscribers or anything, but like we do put out a lot of videos, I'd say. Like I think we're close to like 500 videos or something on the channel, but a lot of those are also shorts. Like there was a period where we were doing like so many YouTube shorts, just because I wasn't able to post as much because I was busy. And obviously a lot of the videos in the beginning didn't get lots of views because we were so small. And yeah, hopefully we get there. That would be a big milestone, especially still while I'm at school, because my freshman year in March that year, we got to 1,000 subscribers. So that would be like getting like that would be getting like pretty much 10,000 subs, all from my time at school, which would take 4 years. So I'm wondering, that growth was like times 10 in 4 years. So I'm wondering if I do MP tennis for 4 extra years, will the growth increase by another 10 times? That would be at 100,000 subscribers. That would be sick. But that's a journey. That is a long ass journey. That's a lot of live videos. No, I'm just kidding. That's just a lot of. I can't thinking 4 years in the future right now kind of makes me sick. I'm graduated. Maybe I'm playing tennis still in 4 years. Maybe I'm not. You don't know, right? Like I said earlier, that you try pro, see how it goes. You really give it a go for a few years. Work on the side to try and make a little money. Travel as much as you can. Get a little lucky, get some points here or there, make a little bit of money, and then see where you are, right? But if that doesn't work, I'm not a millionaire. Can't just do that forever, right? And all of a sudden if I did do that for a few years, I'm 24, 25. If I did do it for that long, you think about other things in life. You got, you start working, and maybe you want to find a home base somewhere for, a certain amount of time and start a family, or, all those things start coming into your mind. And if you can't afford to grind in the futures and the challengers, it's time to put it down. But that's still a while away, I think, for me. I'm not done yet. Lots of tennis to be played still. These strings are so thin. Or flimsy, sorry, not thin. Actually, one thing that I do want to talk about is I played pickleball the other day for the first time. So I don't know how many people we still have in here, but like, that shit was nuts. And that's all I'm gonna say. I played pickleball the other day for the first time. And if somebody wanna ask me about it, maybe I'll go into more depth, but it was quite an experience. I just went with my dad. But it was interesting. I can see why there's a lot of ex-tennis players that play it now. Ah, I hate this. Who does this? There we go. These multis are very, very soft, and they're sometimes so hard to get over and under some strings in the grommets. On the last one here, guys, so if you want to ask some questions there, throw them in there. We're going to be wrapping up here shortly. It's been a longer live here today with the Q&A here in the beginning. Where is it? There it is. Crazy, the spacing on this string bed. It's definitely an intermediate frame. You can fit like your whole hand through these holes here in the string bed. Alright guys, we are getting to the end here. Final match. Thanks for watching and tuning in today. It's been a good little live, some good questions there in the beginning, some good chatter here, but I think people had to go to bed. Maybe it was a little quiet at the end, but that's alright. It is what it is. And there we are. We got a Babylon Pure Dry Evo Light. With some velocity in there. It looks sweet there with the racket, same color. But I'm just gonna put this string over here in the garbage, and then we'll be signing off. We will be signing off here. So if you have anything, you can throw it in there, but I'll be wrapping up here shortly. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. We will see you guys in a future live. It's been good. Thank you for watching. Like I said, we had a great Q&A. And then, yeah, we starting a racket and chatting a bit. So, talk to you guys later. And see you on the next live or in the next video. Cheers.